And we are back on the Yeah Coach podcast, where we encourage you to take action in life through the testimonies of others. And I have my good friend, one of my mentors here at Orange Theory. He has been in the fitness industry for over 8 years. He graduated from the University of Kentucky with a bachelor's in health promotions and a minor in coaching. He's been with Orange Theory Fitness for over 2 years now. I know you all know who this is. This is the Coach John. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, brother? Appreciate you having me on, man. For real, I'm excited about this.
Yes, sir. I know. I know we just talked a little bit before the podcast started, and I know you don't know the first question, but I know you're ready for it. First question here: what did you eat for breakfast this morning?
I had a sourdough breakfast sandwich from Dunkin' Donuts with a large iced coffee.
Oh wow!
I splurged a little bit. I needed the calories. 680 of them.
Yeah,
that's how many calories is in it.
You're trying to bulk right now?
Yeah, yeah. Because ever since I retired from fighting, I had to be at 170, 175 to cut to 155, and whenever I decided to retire, I was like, we're going 200 plus right here. So currently like 196, and I never thought eating food would be a problem, but getting up into the 3,500 calories a day range is tough. A lot tougher than I expected it to be, for sure.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
3,500 calories a day. Yeah. I'm like, because I'm in a very similar boat, and I didn't even know you were bulking. I'm in a similar boat. I'm trying to hit 210 before I start cutting again.
Yeah.
And I'm at like 190 right now.
Yeah.
So I've been eating well, and I've been eating a lot.
Yeah.
But then I've also been working out a lot. So, but I don't think I'm at 3,500. I didn't. Woo. Yeah, because I might have to up my intake now.
I kind of plateaued out at like 3,000, and I was staying at like 188. Just wasn't putting anything else on, and then I do powerlifting with it, so I was doing a 12-week strength phase, and so I was trying to get my numbers up. I knew doing it on a deficit wasn't going to work, and then that's when I really decided, like, let's hammer down on this. Finished the strength phase, and then now I'm on a hypertrophy phase, just trying to build muscle, just pack on weight, however. And yeah, 3,500 calories is a lot. I'm sticking around like 200 grams of protein a day. Yeah, I've found myself sitting at the kitchen table just like, I don't feel like eating anymore, but just,
the goals.
It's one of those things, like, have some sort of purpose, and I told myself I wanted to do this, and now you can't back out just because that you decided not to do something in preparation for what you're striving for. I didn't eat earlier that day, so I had to get it in that night, and so I did, and I've done it quite a few times now. I'm just not used to eating 4, 5, 6 times a day, especially when for so long I had to watch what the scale said. When I'm talking to clients and stuff, I'm not big on scale goals. If you have one, fine, we can work at it. But, I'm big on how are your clothes fitting? How are you feeling on a day-to-day basis? But I had to worry about what the scale said for so long. And then now not having to worry about that is awesome.
Man, so what type of discipline do you have in order to eat all of that and to push yourself even when you're like, all right, I'm full, I'm just gonna keep going?
It's a classic case of like, be careful what you wish for. Like I said, for so long I had to be 170 to 175 in case I got a call for a fight. And the rule usually with MMA or boxing is be within 2 weeks of fight weight. So if you get a call, I could cut 20 pounds in 2 weeks, and no, I will not tell you how to do that because it's not healthy. But as a fighter, you do what you have to do. You show up, you make weight. That was always the rule. So the discipline in it now is like, I asked for this. I wanted to put on weight. I wanted to be big, and be stronger and everything like that. So it's not really this like glorified hustle deal. It's just I said I was going to do it, and I'm going to do it.
Mhm. Wow. What is a normal day of eating look like for you? From the time you wake up, from the time you go to sleep.
So when I open at Orange Theory, and shout out Lexi, she can attest to this. I'll come in with 2 of the single serve Frosted Flakes bowls, so that's 440 calories a piece there, like 6 grams of protein. But then I have 2 of the Elite Core Power shakes, 42 grams of protein a piece, and I put that in the cereal. So by 4:30 in the morning, I've already had 900 calories, and I think it's like 96 grams of protein just right off the bat.
Wow.
And then usually I might get some Starbucks and get one of their burrito breakfast wraps. That's another 680 and 28. Lot of 8 egg omelets with cheese and ham.
8 eggs.
Yeah. And a couple servings of mozzarella cheese, and just like, honestly, deli lunch meat, fire. Just like, it's like 50 calories, 9 grams of protein per 2.5 ounces. And that's a great margin. Even if you're cutting, you can use that as a really good source of protein to calorie ratio. It's nothing for me to drop a pound of ground beef in the skillet, just go for it, eat that all at once. Cheese, mustard, mayonnaise, basically like a hamburger bowl. Ground turkey isn't as good for a bulk because it's so lean. Pound of ground turkey.
You have to season that too.
Oh
There's
yeah,
a lot more seasoning that you have to do for turkey than
Cajun
just for beef.
seasoning, seasoned salt, onion powder, garlic powder. I'm in there just dusting everything on there. But it's tougher with ground turkey because, like, if you throw a pound in the skillet, you're really only getting probably like 12 ounces out of it. So that's only like, I think that ends up being like 400 calories and like 45 to 50 grams of protein. So it's great for your protein, but if you're lacking calories, then you have to eat like rice or something with it to up that caloric intake. And then yeah, that's usually how I'll end the day with something like that. And if I'm really like pushing it to where like I need 500-600 more calories, it'll be 16 ounces of whole milk, 2 scoops of protein, and that's like a 550 calorie and 60 gram shake right there. So
Why whole milk?
it's got the most calories, 150 calories per 8 ounces. So 16 ounces, that's an extra 300 calories right there, plus an extra 18 grams of protein because it's 9 grams per serving. So it ends up, and the protein powder is like 230 and 50 grams per 2 scoops. So I'll load that down and knock that out, and it's a lot. I go to bed full, which is a good feeling, but at the same time, I'm like, got to do it all over again tomorrow. A lot of dishes, lot of dishes.
I'd say so. Man, 8 eggs. That's what surprised me.
Oh yeah,
That's what, like, I knew you had to eat a lot, but like right now I'm eating 4 eggs. Like 4 in the morning, I'm 4:30.
yeah.
I wake up, eat 4 eggs and a bagel. And then I take my little protein shake out the door and I go to OTF. Or I go here.
8 eggs.
Wow.
That's like 560 calories. Like it's like 48 grams of protein, somewhere in there. So it's easy to get down. I throw like some hot sauce on it as well, and it's all about making the food taste good as well. You know, like when I'm cutting, you pour a big thing I found out about cutting, especially doing it for MMA, was that, you know, there's a lot of very antiquated techniques in cutting weight. Number one being, don't eat and sit in a sauna until you are medically sick and need attention. That was the way to do it for years. MMA didn't have a whole lot of science in it because a lot of people thought it was barbaric and not a sport. It was just men in there just getting after it and looking to prove who the alpha was. And then as MMA over the last 25, 26 years has progressed, they have the UFC PI now where they do all kinds of tests and studies that they have weight cutting broken down to a science. I remember cutting weight for my first fight. I'd cut weight before that, but for my first fight, when I cut, I was at I got down to 162-ish, and that was on the Monday before the weigh-in. I had to weigh in Friday evening, Friday at 4.
What'd you have to make?
155. 156 technically because you get a 1 pound allowance. So I had 8 pounds to lose in 5 days. And so from Monday to Thursday, I had a half gallon, each day, I had a half gallon of water, 2 apples, and 1 can of tuna per day. On top of still training, trying to sweat and lose this weight. So then on Thursday night, me and one of my training partners, we went to a sauna and sat in there until he pretty much had to pull me out. I had to get a ride home. We were in Georgetown. I had to get a ride home. I was completely drained, couldn't sleep, felt horrible. Went back. I still had 2 pounds to cut the next day before the weigh-in. So I went back. And I guess I said I wouldn't tell y'all how to cut the weight, and I'm sitting here doing it. But so I went back, cut the final 2 pounds. I was sunken in. I looked horrible. My first fight picture is hilarious. My mom was there. My buddy Darius was there. My brother was there. Everybody was there. And my mom had this just plethora of drinks. I had watermelon water, coconut water, Gatorade, Pedialyte, and I mean just one after the next. And when you're rehydrating after being super dehydrated like that, you have to sip it, otherwise you get sick. Well, again, this was my first time cutting that much weight, so I'm just bottoms up on everything. We're sitting at the dinner table. I'm I don't feel good. We went to Old Chicago and was eating pizza. And dude, I was just so miserable. I thought I was gonna love this food.
This is
so
still before
much.
the fight?
Yeah, this is the night of the weigh-in. This is after I'd weighed in. I made 155. So I drank all my drinks. I ate pizza, and then I go home and I'm just I feel awful. And so then I'm in my own head. I'm worried. I'm I got to fight tomorrow, all this. So I wake up. I'm still so full and just groggy. Day goes by, and I didn't really eat much that day because I was still just full. And so get to the venue. Finally, I start feeling better. I ended up weighing in at 176 less than 24 hours later. Put on 21 pounds in 17, 18 hours because they do a second weigh-in before the fight. Or they did. They don't anymore.
And what happened?
I got in trouble with the commission because they said I was cutting too much weight. You're supposed to only gain back 12% of the weight that you cut, and I gained back a lot more than that.
Wow.
Yeah. Ended up winning by knockout in 40 seconds though, so I was happy. It was all worth it in the end, and
all that Pedialyte.
There was the pizza, Pedialyte, the pancakes. I don't know. I ate everything though, man. I was carved up for sure.
Man, what a story. So with that experience in your belt, knowing who you are today, who would you say would be one of your biggest influences or an experience that makes you part of who you are today? Who is Coach John? What experience do you think would make that?
That's a really dense question. I'm going to break it down a little bit. So I've been lucky in the sense that I've had a lot of great male figures in my life. I've had a lot of great parent figures in my life that picked up the slack that I didn't have in my own home growing up. So, you know, it starts with as early as one of my best friends, Trey, his dad, Jeff. He was like the man. This dude, you could put him out in the middle of Antarctica, in the middle of nowhere with a knife, and I don't even know if he would need a bow and arrow, but give him one, he's going to come back with enough supplies to feed you for 3 months. You know, this guy was a true man's man, taught me a lot young growing up. And then going into that, you know, home life wasn't great by any stretch. I had to grow up quick, take care of me and my brother from the time I was like 12 all the way up through high school. And again, I just always kind of had someone there to pick up the slack for a little bit. It was one of my boxing coaches. He always helped me out. I always had great coaches in any of the sports that I played. You know, girlfriends in high school, their family or her family helped me out a lot going through everything that I went through. And then my former MMA coach, we were together for 7 years, taught me a lot, helped me out a lot, always made sure I was good. So at the end of the day, wasn't seeing eye to eye on some things. And then now my strength and conditioning coach, he's helped me a lot with like brutally honest love, like not to hurt my feelings, but to just to say like, we need a path. We need a certain stimulus to bring to the table. And without that, we're never going to progress. We're never going to evolve. And so him and I, we have a lot of talks on like, you know, what masculinity is, how masculinity can be a positive thing and how it shouldn't be shamed, and how, you know, brotherhood amongst men picking up other men, helping other men with mental health, helping other men with physical health, all these kind of things. That's kind of where my focus has been as of late, is just looking to pick up people around me. Like, I have a very different experience in the sense that like I boxed and I fought MMA for 14 years of my life. I did semi-professional football. I did all these very violent sports that are meant to be, you know, mano a mano, man versus man in situations. And those experiences have allowed me to speak on things about what it's like when you really are locked in a cage with another man and you're fighting to simulated death, quite literally. Whether it be a tap out or a knockout, the ref is there to stop it whenever in a real outdoor situation death would occur. And so like that's kind of how I always thought about MMA and fighting whenever I would go into it, was you have to just kind of find that headspace, and I'm trying to help others get into that headspace without having to get locked into a cage with another man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, to circle back to the whole mentors thing, I've had a lot, and I've been really lucky with a lot of them that have helped absolutely bring me to where I'm at now. And just fitness in general, overall knowledge, life knowledge. You know, we talked about the whole life coaching thing earlier. Those are all things that have been brought to my plate due to my mentors. And so it's been really cool being able to have those experiences with all these different walks of life through all the different sports I played and everything like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not one thing, it's not one person, it's a plethora of people that helped you create and develop you into who you are right now.
It's a group
and
effort.
It's a continuing thing that you're still doing.
Yes, it's an absolute group effort. It's absolutely taken a village. I was very unsheltered growing up. I didn't have any rules. I didn't have a bedtime. I didn't, where I was didn't really matter. It was like I said, I had to grow up quick in the sense of, I had to I had to be the man of the house. Dad wasn't around. Mom was working night shift. It was just me and my brother. At one point, Mom had moved out too. It was me, my younger brother, and two of my best friends living in a 2-bedroom duplex our senior year of high school. And we had no guidance. We could do whatever we wanted. And so living that, and then especially so that was at a point where I'd taken a hiatus from boxing and MMA. Didn't have any money. Was like scraping change to put gas in the car to get to school. We were we were like scavenging for food, things like that. It was pretty wild. And whenever I started back into MMA and I kind of had that discipline that I had to answer to, it literally was like a transformation of going from this like feral man into something more like dignified and something to be proud of. I wasn't very like confident and proud of myself at that point. And then once I circled back into getting into MMA and taking the fighting route, I felt like I had something to hold my head up about. And I took a lot of pride in it, took a lot of pride in my training partners in the gym that I was at and everything like that. So it's been a collective effort, and thankfully, my experiences are mine and I'm thankful for them, but I wouldn't wish that path amongst anyone. It was hard, with a lot of heartbreak, a lot of downtime, I just got to suck it up and put one foot in front of the other for long periods of time. But it allotted me the experience. At 26 now, I have a lot of life experience that people who've been on the earth for 50, 60 years might not have had to face. And that's fine. It's not, people want to get into these kind of like pissing matches over things like that, for lack of better words. And it's like, there were people and are people that had it 10 times worse than I had it, no doubt. But that doesn't subdue the fact that I did have these experiences. And so it's been interesting, man. I'm just really happy. I'm happy where I'm at right now in terms of mentally, where I'm going as a trainer, where I'm going as a coach, where I'm going physically, things like that. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see. I just turned 26 on Monday, so I'm excited to see what 26 brings. Bro. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I'm really excited to see what 26 brings, and it's one of those things like, it's not going to bring me anything. I'm ready to see what I'm going to go get at 26 and what I'm going to make of this next year of growth and just grind. And I'm looking to make something happen, man. I want to make some noise. I want to really change the community, and then change the nation, and then hopefully get a hand on changing the world at some point. So I'm excited for what I kind of have going on for myself right now.
That's big. I'm hyped to see, because I can see the passion. I can see like your gears grinding.
Yeah.
And the fire in your eye about what you have, or what you want to do for the future. Just in the way you talk. There's two things I wanted to get to. One, I don't want to forget, so I do want to say it.
Yeah.
We know where you were. We know where you are in some sense. I want to know where you're going. But before then, I wanted to comment. Hearing this reminds me of something that I heard before. Of, how's it go? It goes, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because the experiences did make you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But it's better to be prepared for hard times than to never have had them at all and then get smacked with them later in life.
Yeah.
Because then you do not know how to cope, you don't know how to react, and you don't know how to act. It's all reaction. You're not never prepared for it.
Yeah. And so I've always kind of thought of it as I try, especially like being younger, not having a whole lot of supervision, I could just fly off the handle. And I was very reactive growing up. I wasn't the nicest person growing up. I was a hothead that always thought, well, I can just fight my way out of any situation I want. And I got humbled up in the football locker room one day, and that kind of changed my mindset. Like, okay, yeah, you can fight, but other people can too. And there's going to be people that don't care what boxing you've done. There's going to be people that don't care about those things. So I got humbled up. It kind of changed how I thought about things. And I just started to be more kind to people. And, it was a battle back and forth that happened when I was like 14, 15. And so all the way up until 21, probably, it was just this kind of back and forth. Like I would go through spurts where I was just like anxiety driven, upset, mad at the world, woe is me, why me? If I had the opportunities that this person had, I would be doing this, this, and this. And then you just have to get real with yourself. And it was a talk me and my younger brother actually had. We were talking about just stuff within the family. And I was like, it's crazy, man. Think about it. We could have grown up. I could have had my college paid for. I could have had this. I could have had that. And he was like, but you don't. And we don't know what that's like. So, and he was like, he literally looks at me and goes, I don't know why you get so caught up on that. What could have been? He was like, it wasn't and won't be. He was like, what you've got to do is build from where you're at to create the things that you're wanting to get. And I was like, my 19-year-old brother just schooled me. So it was like this kind of full circle thing of I wanted to be nicer to people. I wanted to see that change. I wanted to make things happen. And I found it through fitness and becoming a personal trainer and group fitness training. And I swore after my first 2 group fitness experiences, I was like, I will never do it again. I didn't like it. It wasn't what I wanted. And then circling back to Orange Theory, I was like, dude, I'm helping like 30 people at a time. Like, this is the best bang for my buck. And some of the Orange Theory members, the love that they show, man, it's sick. I love that they love us as coaches. It's such a gratifying thing, and that's the end goal. Help as many people as I can with the time that I'm given. And so I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. I don't really have a super thought out plan, but I know it's like that pre-contemplation stage of like, I know what I'm going to do on the kind of grand scheme scale, but I don't exactly know yet how I'm going to do it. And that's just going to take a little bit of planning and thought and sitting down and finding like-minded people that maybe we can team up, make things happen that way. However it's got to be. I'm excited to just change people for the better, change lives, help the dad that wants to go be able to pass ball with his son, help the grandma that wants to be able to hold her grandkids without worry of fragility, things like that. And I think that's what I'm most excited for coming up.
So with all of that, I think we're going to go back to the question I had before. I think you touched on a little bit that you don't have an exact plan. We have like a rough sketch of what your near future looks like for you in the fitness industry.
So I'm currently working on my nutritionist certification.
Hey.
So I'm going to kind of pair that up with my one-on-one stuff, look to give my current clients a little more insight on how to navigate nutrition. Nutrition is hands down the most overcomplicated thing other than an alternating goblet transverse squat. So my goal is to try and simplify nutrition for people. And it's a talk I've had a lot here recently is, I have a lot of talks with people about their goals. And if I had a nickel for every time I've heard, well, I just want to tone up, I just want to trim down. Like, it just seems like I've heard one time, two, sitting here with you, over the last 6 months, people saying, oh, I want to gain some weight, I want to put on some muscle. It just seems like we're stuck in that rut of like skinny is pretty, or, ripped up is the only way, things like that. And I'm like, guys, enjoy your life. People take nutrition and they put it on this scope and they're like, well, I need to go on a diet. Okay. What's a diet? What's a diet to you? I ask them that and they say, oh, I'll probably go to the store, I'll get some rice, I'll get some chicken, I'll load up on, this, that, the other. I'm like, do you love rice and chicken? Like, is that like your go-to? Do you love eating that? Like, no, but I know it'll help me lose weight fast. I'm like, so do you want
Looking
sustainable? Yeah, you're chasing. You're not even looking at the journey. You're looking at the destination, which is 10 miles away, and you haven't even taken the first step to it. So I want people to, for one, I want to help people in their goal setting ability. Set smaller goals to achieve the bigger ones. Set a weekly goal and commit to that. Achieve that goal, hell yeah yourself, and then go on to the next. People, I want to lose 20 pounds in a month. No, you don't, because the minute you stop doing whatever you're doing, which is likely borderline, if not for sure, starvation, you're going to gain it all back plus some. Then you're going to be mad at yourself, and it's going to create this vicious whirlwind of things that mentally a lot of people can't handle, and even more people don't want to handle. So I want to create a mindset around nutrition and lifestyle that allows people to go out to eat with their families, that allows people to eat on the holidays, that allows people to enjoy things that they like. The other day I posted something on my story about eating Taco Bell, and I had someone reach out to me and they were like, I miss Taco Bell. And I'm like, what do you mean you miss it? Did you like move somewhere where there's not one? And they were like, no, I'm just eating healthier and stuff now, and this and that. I'm like, okay, I can respect that. Eating healthier, that's one thing. I was like, but if you like Taco Bell, have a little bit, it circles back to like being able to stay disciplined, but make that mentality and lifestyle change to where you can enjoy things that you like in moderation. That's the one thing I've learned about nutrition: moderation. America's portion sizes, like, you look at America's portion sizes at a restaurant in comparison to even go to like a really upscale Italian restaurant or something, even like here in Lexington, portions are smaller, and it's like,
What about your portion size?
that we're not talking about me. I got goals right now. But and readily available portion sizes at that. How easy is it to go through McDonald's, a Big Mac, large fry, and a Coke? You're talking 1,200-1,300 calories right there. And for a lot of people, that's over half of your day's calories. And a lot of people don't account for snacking. Anytime I've had a weight loss client, We'll be talking, we'll be going over things. They're like, I'm just not losing. I'm gaining weight. I'm like, are you tracking every single thing that goes in your mouth? Oh, well, I had a couple mints. I had a handful of Chex Mix. I had half of a cook. I'm like, that just added up to 350 calories just over time. So creating a healthy relationship with food where people aren't scared of it. People aren't scared of carbs. I'm really tired of that.
Yeah.
I'm really tired of that, honestly.
You get 50%, more than half of your energy from carbohydrates. Like,
we could have a whole separate podcast on that. If I'm being honest, I could go on for a long time about the just the hoopla involved with the whole carb thing, but I won't. I want people to be able to have fun, enjoy, indulge, stay on track, and not be scared. Don't be scared of your food. Use it as fuel. Eat with the family. If you want a cookie, have a cookie. Don't buy Oreos and leave them in the pantry, because you will eat them all, just like I do if I ever mess up and buy a bag or a...
you got to buy a little 8-pack, a
yeah,
small 6-pack.
Yeah, literally, or else I will eat all of them. And so, like, just making smarter choices, and even in things like that, like, do you need the family-sized bag of Oreos? No. Just get you a little snack size to fill your craving and then move on from it, you know? And so I want people to build healthy relationships with the decisions that they're making. Like, you know, 'cause I missed back-to-back Thanksgivings because I was cutting weight for fights. Yeah, and one of them, actually both of them, I didn't even end up getting a fight. I cut 18 pounds in 6 days after Thanksgiving. I was fighting the following Friday, and I missed out on Thanksgiving. Didn't even get to fight because I was in that. And like, it sucks, man. Everybody's wanting you to fill your plate up and enjoy food with the family, and like,
you miss out on memories.
Yeah, unless you have to. Like in the instance that I was in, I was cutting weight for a fight. I had to. There's no reason you shouldn't enjoy food with your family and make those memories at the table and not isolate yourself. Like, it sucks. It sucks when, you know, people are looking at you like it's almost like a sense of like grudge, almost like angst. Like, you're really not going to eat this food that I prepared. And I'm like, look, man, it looks great, but sitting in that sauna an extra hour just isn't worth it. So, yeah, just to kind of circle back and wrap that question up, just being able to help people create an environment at which they can succeed in whatever it is their goal is, whether it be bulking, cutting, maintaining, and also creating sustainability. We're not going to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks. We're going to lose 20 pounds in 10 weeks. And then even if you fall off the wagon for 2 weeks after that, you're not going to put back on that whole 20 pounds. You might put back 5 to 8, but you've still netted 15 pounds of loss. Now we maintain and we can go on another cut here in 5-6 weeks. These things take time, and people are so impatient with our instant gratification society that we live in. It's like, you know, it goes for anything. Relationships, it goes for, I mean, just think, dude, how frustrated do you get whenever your phone doesn't load something in literally an instant? Yeah. I counted one time. I was annoyed because my phone was being slow, and I just rough counted in my head how long it was taking this page to load. 33 seconds. And I was pissed off.
Were you loading August Fit book?
Design team, fix it. But 33 seconds, man, and I'm sitting there, I'm losing my mind. Don't know how my internet is just archaic at this point. I'm like, this has got to be fixed. My T-Mobile, you're awful. Metronet, get it together. I'm not paying the bill this month. Like, so frustrated over 33 seconds. That's how instant our society is these days. And like, when it comes to physical goals, financial goals, anything, Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither is your bank account, neither is your body, neither is your mental health. None of that. That is all going to be a journey, and there is no fast track to it. And you have to be willing to do it on the days you don't want to. You have to be willing to step up to the plate whenever, it's the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs and you're going for the World Series win. Like, you got to step up whenever it's time to take action. And, that's the message that people need to hear.
Take action.
That's the takeaway. And, understand too, like, my big mantra that I've always kind of stuck to, I heard it a long time ago. I couldn't tell you where. I think I saw it on like Facebook, something like that, whatever it was. It said, things aren't as bad. Things are never as bad as they seem. Things are never as good as they seem. They are what they are. Stay in the present. And I'm like, yeah, because there's been times where everything felt like it was crashing down around me. The next morning I woke up, all of those problems had subsided and everything was good. It felt good. This issue kind of took care of itself. I got paid. I was able to do this, do that. And then there have been times where I've been sitting there, I'm like, man, everything's awesome. And then all of a sudden, boom, life's there to humble you. So like, just stay present. The bad times aren't going to last. The good times aren't going to last. They come and go with each other, and you just got to find a way to, through the hill, play that level game all the way through it. And my other one is my favorite, and it's smooth seas never made a skilled sailor.
Ooh.
So, if you've had this kind of smooth path where you've just been able to look out and enjoy everything, metaphorically, not saying, kind of like you were telling me, you were like, you don't feel like you've had a whole lot of experiences and things like that, and you're having people on here to talk about things like that. You're gaining experience and insight on how to navigate a rough sea without having to, and that's really cool. I really admire that and respect that. That's a really cool way to understand that while you might not have had a bunch of insane experiences or a bunch of like life altering experiences, like, you're looking for insight on how to navigate, a break in case of emergency, if you will. And so then you do have people that have, had to call off the crew, get everybody inside, navigate the roughest waters. And so that's the mantra right there. Take your experiences and help other people with them. And that's what I hope I'm able to provide here. I'm really glad that you hit me up. I think it's really cool what you're doing with this, and you're doing it the right way. Some people, they're like, I don't have enough life experience. I think I'm gonna go like sell drugs or something, see what life is like, but it's amazing what you can get out of conversation.
100%. And it's something we need to normalize,
Mm-hmm.
like as individuals and even as men.
As men, especially as men.
I have one more question before we wrap it up. We're getting towards the end.
Yeah.
I'm going to shift a little bit as compared to other podcast last questions. Because we've been on nutrition for a good majority of it. Someone that's looking to start their fitness journey and they don't know where to start nutrition-wise, what advice would you give them to help them take that next step? They have nowhere to turn to. They just want a next step.
Um, Seek out. So this is my advice on how to tackle that realistically, and then I'm going to give advice on what to do. So if you're starting out in your nutrition journey or your fitness journey or just an overall lifestyle change, seek out help. There are a plethora of coaches and people such as myself that would love to give you guidance and referrals for free. Not everyone in the fitness industry is looking to make a quick dollar, that is. Reach out, ask questions, see what you can get for free, and take that for what it is. Don't take anything as fact. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see, type deal. So, and ask a bunch of people. Send out 10, 20 messages to 10, 20 different fitness professionals, Orange Theory coaches, people that are personal trainers. Ask. The worst they're going to do is not message you back. So just ask a question. But my advice is going to be start with tracking calories and protein only. Don't worry about your carbs. Don't worry about your fats. If you hit your protein goal, the calories typically follow. Okay. This is what my coach helped me with, and I've helped, I'm not going to say hundreds because that's a lie, but I've helped plenty of people with using this method. It's simple, it's easy, and it doesn't take a whole lot of brain racketeering. So track calories and protein, buy a food scale, weigh your food after it's cooked. That number does deviate. If you weigh out, like I was talking about earlier, you weigh out a pound of ground turkey, you yield 11, 12 ounces of it, depending on how much you cook it. Cook it all the way though. So yeah, ask questions, track your calories, track your protein, buy a food scale, and search out someone to do it with you. Find some sort of accountability group. Find a person that you've had everybody has the conversation, oh, I need to do something. And then they're like, yeah, me too. And then they're like, well, let's do nothing about it together. No, seek out that person, and you two or you three or you group of people do it together. Check in with each other. Hey, did you work out today? Hey, what's your calories at right now? Hey, what did you eat for your biggest protein intake today? Things like that. And these are all things my coach, Nathan Stivers, shout out Stivers Strength, he's helped me with all these different methodologies. And it's been incredible, the amount of help that I've been able to give to my clients, he's given to me, and that he's given to his clients. It really seems to be a thing of like, no one wants to do it alone. So search out someone that can help you go through that daily struggle of making a lifestyle change. Change sucks. Nobody likes change. I don't care who you are. A deviation from your normal plan that you've sunk yourself into is hard. So my big things: ask questions. If they're rude, block them. Okay, don't let anybody be rude to you. Track your calories, track your protein. Buy a food scale. Weigh the food after it's cooked. Find an accountability group or partner. That's why Orange Theory is great too. You get a lot of accountability partners in that studio with your coaches, the essays, with members, all that kind of stuff. It's really cool. Some of the groups that I've seen form at Orange Theory because of that accountability. So that's that would definitely be my thing on getting things figured out from the jump. And then you learn what worked, you learned what didn't work, and then the next time you revisit it, you know how to better cycle through the things that didn't work last time, and that, double down on the things that worked, cut out the stuff that didn't.
Man, take that in, y'all. That's some wisdom right there. Those are 5 things that you can do right now about your nutrition that would make an impact in your life.
Big time. Oh, one last thing.
Number 6.
to kickstart all of that, take your current body weight, multiply it by 12. That's going to be your caloric intake. That's going to be your deficit intake. So don't go, if you're looking to cut weight, if you're looking to lose weight, you need to take your body weight, multiply it by 12. For women, take your body weight, multiply it by 0.7. That's your minimum protein intake for the day. For men, let's go ahead and make it a pound. Yeah. So 1 gram per pound of body weight, 0.7 grams per pound of body weight for women. Okay. Stay under the number. That is your body weight times 12 or right at. Hit your protein goal. Wait 2 weeks at that. Check in. If you've lost more than 2 pounds, or if you've lost more than 4 pounds over that 2 weeks, add 200 calories back to that number. Keep the protein the same. If you have lost no weight, cut 150 calories off of the number that you multiplied your body weight by. Wait another 2 weeks, see where you're at. That's going to ensure, A, you're not creating, a simulated starvation. You're not hungry, and that's going to ensure that you're losing weight in proper increments over time. Again, we don't want that 10 pounds, or we don't want that 20 pounds in a month type deal. We want sustainable weight loss as we're going through. So if you're looking for weight loss, that's going to be, I did it to cut weight. I cut from 175 to 155. Then my last fight, I didn't have to sit in the sauna at all. I ate 1,200 calories the night before I weighed in and still weighed in at 155 pounds the next day. So there is a way to do it. And again, this is all stuff that my coach has helped teach me. I've put it to the test myself. It works. My roommates put it to the test. It works. I watched him lose 60 pounds using this method. You have freedom to eat what you want, but you have to choose. Am I going to eat this snack here and have to shave off dinner later, or am I just going to wait and have it later? So that's there it is. There's your starting point right there. And if you guys, is it cool if I shout myself out?
Yeah, do you?
Yeah,
man.
if you guys, if anybody listening to this needs the right bit of guidance, please give me a shout. On Instagram, it's at RealJohnNorman. Nef, and just tag me.
I'll tag you on everything that we do.
So yeah, I'm more than happy to help anyone out. I've trained everyone from general wellness to weight loss to athletes, professional, amateur. That's where that experience comes in. I've seen a lot, but I haven't seen enough. So please ask me questions. And if I can't answer, I'm going to refer you to someone who I know can. Mm-hmm. So that's another big thing. Thank you for having me on to be able to just give people more resources, So it's so overwhelming sometimes trying to find resources. Mm-hmm. What's truth, what's not. Find people with testimonies and you'll find things that work. So yeah, man, that's there's your all starting point.
Man,
holler at me, holler at Nef. Get with us.
Reach out to us, man. Reach out to John. He's gonna get you together, y'all. This interview's been a blessing, man. This is probably by far the longest interview we've had yet.
Yeah.
And I have not wanted to cut it short at all. I have a client coming in 10 minutes.
Okay.
I have all this packed up, and I'm not sweating it at all right now. I'm ready to keep talking, but unfortunately, we do have to end it. We do plan on having you back on, though. There's much more we want to find out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We can make it happen whenever, and I'm excited, man. I really appreciate the time. Thank you for letting me talk. Yes, I know I had a lot to say. I did drink a little bit. Those C4s don't play around caffeine wise. So yeah, I appreciate you letting me talk. Some of it was, I had to jump through hoops and loops to get back to the original question, but I had a lot to say and I was really excited. So, thanks again, man. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. One thing we have to do before we get off. It's how we end that podcast every single time.
All right.
We give a big, loud, yeah, coach. You can back away from the mic a little bit so we don't bust the mic. But you say it like you're just It's like you're saying a hell yeah.
All right.
But you said like a yeah, coach.
All right,
So it's
all
like
right.
you're hype. You just beat somebody in Madden. You just talk to a girl you don't come to talking to. Like
All
you're
right,
hyping them up. All right.
all right.
So we'll do it on count of 3. Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, coach.
And that'll wrap up that podcast interview. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you all next time. Have a good one.
Thank you, guys.